Hi everybody, we're back for another story time. I'm coming to you today from my basement because there are 6 people in my family and there are people everywhere in my house, and in fact I had to kick my 12-year-old off the Xbox so I could come down here and record your story. So our story today is Theo and the Blue Note. And when you look at the cover of this, what do you think Theo likes to do? He's a musician, isn't he? We see he's playing an instrument. It's a saxophone. And the notes tell a musician what their music's going to sound like when they play it. So, Theo and the Blue Note. He is a cat who plays the saxophone. Theo loved the saxophone so much he practiced day and night, but all he managed to learn was one blue note. He's not able to play the way he wants to. Mastering the sax seemed as far out of Theo's reach as the rising moon. He was feeling kind of blue when a flash of gold caught his eye. Theo quickly climbed down the tree outside his window, then up the ladder to the rocket's door. Inside the ship was a magnificent jukebox filled with songs by musicians Theo loved. He couldn't resist. So a jukebox is an old, kind of like would play music, had usually lots of different kinds of music, and you could select the songs that you wanted to hear. You usually put a quarter in, and then you could hear some music. It's kind of like Alexa, but a long time ago. There was a tickle of piano keys, a rat-a-tat of drums, a boom-boom of bass, a blast of trumpets, and before you could say bebop, Theo had reached the moon. So the rocket ship actually looks like an instrument. If you look at it, do you see the music keys? And who knew that Theo, the cat who played saxophone, is now on the moon? As the music ended, so did the trip. It was awfully quiet on the moon, so Theo played his sax to keep from getting lonely. He climbed a hill to get a better look around, and then his heart skipped a beat. I wonder what he saw. Another spacecraft? And was that music Theo heard? It was coming from inside, beyond those giant steps. See how big the steps are? Going into that big spaceship, and it's got musical instruments coming out of it too. Theo couldn't believe his eyes. On stage was a big band of famous musicians. Chimp Baker on guitar, Charlie Porker on trumpet, Nat King Cobra on bass, Max Roach on drums, Lionel Hamster on xylophone, Duck Ellington on piano, Ella Fitzgerald on vocals. Now, I'll tell you guys a little something. There's a kind of music, a style of music called jazz music, and these are all famous jazz musicians, almost. So the real musicians' names were a lot like some of these names. So, like Charlie Porker, the real jazz musician, his name was Charlie Parker. And Nat King Cobra, that's Nat King Cole. And Duck Ellington, the real man was Duke Ellington. And then Ella Fitzgerald, the real singer's name was Ella Fitzgerald. Suddenly, Duck Ellington flapped his wings. Stop, everyone, stop! The song's just not right. It's got all the red note, the green, the yellow, the purple, the orange, the brown, and even the pink note, but something is still missing. the blue note, of course. But not just one. With Duck's help on the piano, Theo began playing all the blues. So here's all the different colors of blue that he's playing. Indigo, sky, Prussian, periwinkle, berry, ocean, cyan, cobalt, and turquoise blue. Yes, that's it. All together now. A 1 and a 2. As a razzmatazz of sound filled the air, the ship's engines began to pulse. And look what happened. They're blasting off. All the music together made an amazing sound. Blasting cool jazz with a hot beat, the Apollo flew to Earth, and Theo pointed out his house. Now, interestingly, if you look very carefully at where Theo's house is, it kind of looks like it's coming from our state of Ohio. As the band shouted their good nights, Duck promised they'd all play together again the next full moon. Theo listened until the music faded, picturing playing all those colorful notes. They were no farther from his reach than the moon. On that note, Theo fell asleep faster than you can say bebop. And then here's a cool picture at the end of Theo playing. He's actually playing all the notes, all the different colored notes. Now, jazz music is a kind of music that you guys probably don't listen to very much, but you can ask your parents to try to find some for you on, I know if I look up jazz music for kids on Apple Music, it gives me a few choices. If your parents have Spotify or another music app, I bet that they can find you something too to listen to and kind of hear all those different sounds. It's just a different style of music. And see, I know Mrs. Briner taught you guys at ATC about what different instruments sound like. See if you can hear some of those different instruments in there. There's usually saxophone, clarinet, drums. So just see what you can hear. All right? I'll see you guys later with another story. Bye.